What's going on, guys? It's Conscious One coming at you. Back at the Westgate. If you want to average over 60% in sports betting, number one, I advise that you do not watch the TV, and you really don't have to watch the games. You have to know these games based on the numbers, because numbers don't lie. Only people do. Tonight, I'm finna collect on the Pelicans. Last night, I knew they was gonna take care of business against the Spurs. That's why I'm here tonight. I like the Washington Huskies in college basketball. I believe it's 3. They got a start in 5. They're all seniors. Washington won like over 20 games last season. All starters are seniors, as I mentioned, and also I believe 3 of those 5 are first-round draft picks for the NBA. So you got a small spread on Washington tonight at a -3. But you always take the money line to be safe. It's an old saying, take what you need and don't be greedy. When it comes to this sports betting thing, all of your qualities about yourself actually show up in your picks. If you're suffering from one of these, I think they call them 7 deadly sins. If you got a problem with any of one of those deadly sins, I'm telling you, it's going to show up in your sports bets. That's for real. I'm not making this up. If you're a greedy type person, guess what? It's going to show up in your sports betting. If you're selfish, it's going to show up in your sports betting. If you too emotional, it's going to show up in your sports betting. You can know everything about a person by just looking at the bets that they take on sports. I've been doing this for a long time. I've been doing this for about 9 years. It's after 9 years of just seeing the numbers. Not to get off track, but when I was back in Chicago, I used to pretend like I was betting. Did that for 2 years, and I was like, man, I suck. But I said to myself, there's got to be a way to get ahead. 2015, winning 40,000 in 2015 on a week of my 35th birthday was the greatest thing that possibly ever happened to me, besides my mother buying me a car when I was 17. Nah, I had to put that at first place. My mother buying me a 93 Pontiac Grand Am when I was 17. It was my first car. I was a senior in high school. That was the biggest. That was the biggest joy of my life. Winning 40,000, that's the second biggest joy of my life. Now, it's kind of funny, week 1 NFL, I actually thought I was going to win $22,000, and came down to Saints being favored at home by 9.5, and they were playing who were they playing? Oh, man, there's no way I can forget this. Who were they playing? Tampa. Now, Tampa was only predicted to win about 6 games this year, according to Vegas odds. So, me missing $22,000 by 1 game, and it's the New Orleans Saints at home in the Dome against Tampa. I mean, don't get me wrong, any given Sunday. But, to lose by 1 game, 22,000 because of Saints. And then, of course, after that, the Saints were unstoppable. They could beat every Super Bowl team of all time. That's the Saints we're looking at now. So, they didn't win on my watch. But that's why you straight bet, and that's why you bet on each and every game separately. You can parlay, but you always got to make sure you're coming out on top in the end, and that's what it's all about. If you're winning $20 a day, $30 a day, $40 a day, guess what? You're doing pretty good. You're doing pretty good. I wish everybody would try to sports bet, because it doesn't cost a lot of money. You just think about it this way. let's say 5 out of 7 days, you made one pick that was correct. 5 days out of the week, okay, you will be ahead of the game. So if you can't pick one game right 5 days out of the week, guess what? You don't need to be sports betting. That's the truth. But this is hard work, you know. I study night and day. I probably missed about 5 times. I missed a 10-teamer by one. I'm talking thousands of dollars by missing by one game. But again, with the tax situation, you know, anything that you win over $3,000 in, whether it's a slot machine, blackjack, whatever you plan, Vegas takes out the 25% for the tax. So actually, if you can make $50 to $100 every day tax-free, then it's better doing that. I mean, you can do it. You could write it off in your taxes if that's what you want to do. But let's say you was winning $50 a day. That's over $1,000. Well over $1,000 a month. You're doing pretty good. If you're winning $35 a day, that's about $1,000 a month. Guess what? You're doing pretty good. I mean, who doesn't need an extra $1,000 in their pocket a month? Probably Floyd Mayweather even need an extra $1,000 in his pocket. Well, what this Negro doing? Just fighting at 42. Crazy. But anyway, Bears, man, what can I say? The Bears. Me being from Chicago and knowing that the last Bears good team that I seen was Rex Grossman Bears back in 2006. Crazy thing, I had a cousin in the NFL. His name was Kelvin Hayden. He was a starting safety for the Indianapolis Colts. So my cousin Kelvin Hayden was the guy who intercepted the ball to seal the deal to beat the Bears in the Super Bowl. But he was going against his Chicago team. A few years down the line, I believe he got injured, and he was on a Bears roster for a couple of years, came back home, and that was pretty much it with his career. But yeah, number 26, Kelvin Hayden. But, a lot of people think that these celebrities, these sports figures, Floyd Mayweather, listen, these people don't make as much money as you think. I mean, let's say you make $300 million and you got 2 or 3 kids, right? Or maybe 2 or 3 baby mamas to go with them 2 or 3 kids. All right, so you're going to make $300 million. You're going to get half of it taken out in taxes. Maybe another half of it has to pay the bills of the stuff that you already so-called own, but don't. Then another third, 2/3 gets divided for the baby mamas. And what is Floyd really left with? I mean, in the lavish lifestyle that he likes to live, buying $1 million watches and doing stuff for people, that's all great. And don't get me wrong, I don't knock him. I mean, you live your life. We can't take money with us. So, it's this one guy I listen to on YouTube. He say, guess what? If you get money, you're supposed to spend it. You ain't supposed to save. What does saving mean? If you can generate money every day, why would you need to save? You see, you need to have a brain. Knowledge is what you need. You don't need a savings. You need knowledge. If you know something that can pay you every day, no matter how old you get. And let's dismiss this stuff about saving. Because saving, how can you save when inflation is in the society to begin with? That doesn't make any sense. I mean, my mother was getting paid probably $12 an hour back in 1989. And what are we getting paid today in 2018? Most people on their jobs, they barely, if they're getting $12 an hour, maybe. But bottom line, people should be making $20 an hour, no matter what job it is, based off inflation. So, it's really something else. It's a lot going on. Yeah, so, yep, so I definitely like Washington Huskies tonight. Also, they're going to be playing in Vancouver, British Columbia, so Texas A&M going up there. That's like a home game from Washington. Now, Washington did get burned against Auburn, but that's because Auburn's really good. They're most likely going to be the SEC champs this year. As far as them possibly beating Duke tonight or covering the spread, I wouldn't mess with that. If I had to take a pick, I'd say Duke is going to spank them, to be honest with you. I would say Duke covers, but I'm not messing with it. I'm just going to take Washington. But anyway, y'all, just wanted to say a few words, and we go ahead and do this thing, and I'll talk to y'all later. Peace.